What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of the Black Sheep Perspective. It's yours truly, Wes. I got my dude, Gus.
It's been a while.
Yes. We're getting our shit together more and more. Things are coming together. We're getting better guests. We're getting a lot better video editing. We got the page up. We went live on YouTube. Not live, but became public. And it's been a fun journey. And now I'm not going to massacre his last name. I'm going to try. I know he's going to forgive me for it. But we got a friend of ours who's also a training partner of ours. Great man with a lot of great things to tell us and, to kind of tell the world as to what he's seen, what he's done, and what he's been through and how it's gotten him to where he's at right now. My brother Nicholas / Nick Chapo Thing.
Good. That's good.
Can you fix it?
I like it the way it is. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I've been called a lot of things. That's probably the best.
CHAPPOTIN.
Perfect, man.
And you were just telling me that has an Italian background.
Yes.
Though your parents are?
My dad is Cuban and my mom is Colombian. So how the hell that happened, I have no idea. So.
There's a lot of Cubans with extensive connections to Lebanese, Russian. I really haven't heard a lot about Italian. I don't know. Correct me.
Nah, I was going to say the same thing you said. Lebanese and Russian is what I've heard.
Yeah, with the whole Bay of Pigs and all that stuff when the Russians were, trying to do their thing with Fidel and everything. Bro, how many people nowadays even know about that? Like, if you're not mid-30s or above.
I didn't know about that.
Right?
So you just said it right now.
In regards to, like.
Why there's so many Russians?
Right. Oh, you see, yeah. The Russians were basically trying to, they hated America, and the only way they can get close to being a threat to us without actually causing a war was they worked out a deal with a communist country, being Cuba, after Fidel took over, and they would say, hey, how about you hold these missiles for us?
It's a hell of a deal.
Right? And I guess a bunch of Russians started coming over, fucking the Cubans, and then, everything else happened like that. I don't know. So, but hey, man, welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
Man, we were talking earlier about a mutual friend of ours, a coworker of yours, Jeanette. And much like to anybody who's listening right now, I'm always looking for great, interesting guests. Guests who, and there's no real specific detail, but just guests who fit the whole Black Sheep perspective, which is just interesting people with amazing stories, people who just gain my interest, gain Gus's interest. It could be viewers, subscribers, fans, who write me messages and say, hey, what about this guy? What about that guy? Anybody who has a great story, I just love to hear about it. Even if it's not a story, it's just a movement. It can be so many things. And anyhow, Jeanette, shout out to her. She's a sweetheart. And, I was telling her, hey, Jeanette, don't forget, you work with a lot of doctors and nurses and people, from all limelights of life. And try to find me, some guests, try to see if you got any guests that I can screen, that I can take out to lunch and so on and so forth. And even though you and I already knew each other and we were already friends and we trained and we hung out and, she said, well, what about Nick? And she looks over her shoulder and there's Nick fucking doing some wild ass workout because this man just invents.
He goes hard. People understand if people go to the UFC gym, there's somebody who trains hard and that's you.
Yeah.
People will see it. People will see it and they see what hard work is and I see it. I see it 24/7.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and I've never said this to you. I see you at the no-gi class. I said, that's fucking crazy as hell. When I see him fucking doing wrestling moves and tapping motherfuckers out, I'm like, man, fuck what I do. That's what I want to be like.
Imagine.
I told you that before, man. And this is the fact of the first time we fucking talked to each other. Yeah. And I didn't even know you were gonna be on here. So
I appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming out, man. Thanks for having me.
If you were 310 tapping people out and shit, you'd want to learn that martial art too.
But no, it's people don't understand. For me, it's easier to go against somebody that's big and lanky than somebody my size.
Right.
Because it's harder for you guys to roll with somebody like me. Since I'm so tight and strong, it's way harder. That's why I rather, especially for competitions and Nagas and new breeds, when I would have people that were tall and lanky, I was like, oh, there's a breeze, thank God. When it's people short, I'm like, this is going to be a battle.
Kind of like if I ever had to get in a fight, or I tell people, whether it's clients, clients are always asking about the fight game and, hey, man, Wes, what if I get in a fight? What should I do after they learn a little bit? And I always give them like the 2 or 3 steps. One, make sure you get your distance. Don't ever get anybody a chance to snuff you. Get your distance. Plus, you don't want to get arrested no matter what happens. So if you are seen giving somebody some type of advance warning, hey, there it goes. Somebody, that's when I saw him put his arm out. Okay, well then that right now that civilian is covered because you can tell they were trying to avoid it. The next thing is, you know, if you have to and they show a little bit more force, you get in your stance and you let them know, hey, I know some shit, dude. I know some shit, you know? And then I literally tell them, and then you kick. I don't tell them to punch. I tell them if they know how to kick, I tell them to kick. I say no one knows how to check a kick. Even skilled pro fighters do not know how to check kicks.
I kick right down the middle. I don't care. Even if I know how to fight. I've fought several times. I've kicked people straight in the nuts. I don't care.
Oh, you mean like in a fight?
Yeah, bro.
Like you don't go MMA. Like you go dirty and you go for the nuts.
Bro, I've gotten so many fights in the club where I've kicked somebody straight down the pipe, straight in the nutsack. I do not care.
Gus has been making us lose fans and building enemies out at the same time with some of this shit he says. Nick, tell us where'd you get this okay, well, let me tell everybody. So the way I met Nick was straight up going hard. Just any workout that he was doing was straight up bananas. You know, I'm a very high intensity workouts. I love high intensity workouts. It's way more functional for life. You don't have to sit there and do a chest day, even though you can focus on chest. And Nick epitomized that. And if it was leg day, it was legs with slamming this and just, you know, jumping here to that and just a bunch of mayhem. And I would also see him, you know, checking us, the fighters out or the coaches when we were doing our things and we'll train our clients. And I see him getting ideas, you know, from the, shit that we'll do with the sleds and the tires and the dummies. And sure enough, man, I went up to Nick one day. I was like, dude, like I got some bomb ass workouts, but I've been watching you, no homo, and you're fucking, man, you got some shit, dude. You giving me some ideas that I can do this and I can do that. And he was just so humble from the beginning. Oh, dude, I just get it from you guys. You guys inspired me. You guys this, you guys that. And I'm like, damn. For a big ass dude with all these tattoos who looks scary as fuck, you know, he's pretty goddamn cool and humble and nice. And sure enough, it was, and we just talked about this earlier. Never really knew your story until we went out to lunch, you know, a week back. But it goes to show that the foundation that you have now that I know, you know, the Army and everything else that built these little things about you. But is that where you got it from, or have you always been this go hard, you know, all or nothing type guy?
No, I pretty much. I learned it in the Army, but I didn't really start going hard till I was probably like about 22. And you know a little bit about it, like when I talked about it, when 9/11 happened.
Were you working out though earlier?
Brother,
No.
I didn't start lifting weights till I was 22, man.
Holy crap.
I was a skinny little shit. I was always fast as hell. Like my freaking, like, bro, I still run right now, and I can put a 50-pound pack on my back, and my mile times will be 8 minutes. My mile times right now are like 6:30.
Damn.
So I'm like, yeah, I love cardio. I think I've always been a fan of cardio, and I think the strongest muscle you have is going to be your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Preach.
But I started going hard when I joined 7 Special Forces team. And that's when I knew I had to, number one, I was playing with the big boys. Number two, I was skinny little shit. And I had to carry a lot of weight if I wanted to roll with these guys. And that's when I like kind of blew up. And then being humble, I don't think I'm that humble. I mean, I think I got a pretty big ego.
Yeah, we spoke about that too, and you were very blunt about that. I appreciated that about you too. You admitted a lot of things during lunch.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But like, it's like humility happened. I want to say when I hit really bad rock bottom. We can go into this if you want, but like maybe around when my son was born.
Okay, so before we go there though, what was the upbringing like? Were you in Miami? Miami born and raised?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Miami. I was a fuck up. I didn't come from a bad family. I was just couldn't get right, you know.
What area, neighborhood, or whatever? Kendall.
The mean streets of Kendall.
Somebody out there listening just had a heart attack.
Somebody's like, and fucking the ranch is like, what the fuck is this guy talking
about? The ranch of Piranha. They're like, Kendall.
No, pretty much, you know, it didn't hit me till I was in high school. Like, you know, I always got picked on, but I was rolling around with the wrong dudes just trying to, like, get it together. Sometimes, you know, run around in fucking stolen cars. And I can say it now because, I mean, we never got caught.
Right.
But doing dumb shit, man. Just, you know, doing dumb teenage shit.
Were you fucking up in school at the same time?
Always. And it's hilarious because my mom was a principal and my dad was an assistant principal. So they loved that shit. So they loved it. And they were fucking eating me up every fucking night, fucking just tearing me up. And pretty much, I mean, you know, we touched upon it when we interviewed, and I've been debating whether I wanted to tell this or not, but fuck it, you know, I'm pretty fucking transparent, so I'll say it. If you feel uncomfortable, you can cut me off. You know, just, you know, when I was around 8 years old, had a cousin who loved little boys.
Older cousin?
Older cousin. And he loved me. So him and his friend one time when I was 8 years old decided to molest me, and that was it. And that's all said and done. That was like the beginning of like, what the fuck, you know?
And that was a one-time ordeal?
It was a one-time ordeal, but it was pretty fucking savage-like. And, you know, looking back on it now, I know it sounds silly, and this is where the humility happens, actually. I'm grateful for everything I've gone through.
I know what you mean by saying something.
And I'm grateful,
right.
Man. I wouldn't be this person without the shit in Afghanistan, without losing my 6 teammates, what happened when I was 8 years old, you know, shit like that, you know. And I look back on it now, I'm like, it's a fucking badge of honor. You're always asking for a tool. I mean, I pray, and this doesn't make you a good Catholic or a good Christian or whatever. I pray 3 times a day, man. Before I went to the gym today, I went to church. And why do I do that? Not to be a good, he knows who I am. But just say, hey, this is what's up. And I thank you for everything you've done for me. People are always asking for tools, you know, from God, if you believe in him, or you know, I need this, I need that. This motherfucker gave me those. I'm so thankful. The humility happened, going back to that, is when I've always been an alcoholic. So it was like around 15 when I started drinking. And my ex-wife, divorced me because of my drinking habits, and I love women. So that never was a great combination.
Now, that these drinking habits, I mean, no matter what, you always have what you just said happen. So that's always going to have some playing some role in your memory bank, your decisions, you know, your anger, whatever it might be from what happened at 8. Fast forward it, now you're in this teenage years and you're about to, you know, drink that first beer or bottle, whatever it is. Were you already going through some type of issues because of what happened? Or was that, you know, you're never over that, obviously, but no, I was just a young, stupid teen in Kendo acting a fool, and then I started drinking at 14, 15.
I want to say yes, but man, are you making an excuse for that? And that's the thing. Like, people love to talk about products of your environment, but that goes both ways, man. That goes both ways. People don't realize. People say, like, I'm a product of my environment. I got this. I had that. You know what? It's all valid. But you know what they are? They're still motherfucking excuses.
Yeah.
You know? And there's a lot of people who grow up in Aranja, fucking shitty fucking life. And they end up going to fucking getting scholarships and becoming people. There's motherfuckers that grow up in Cocoa Plum, do dumb shit.
Right.
And they end up being fucking losers.
Man, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're a product of your environment, but what do you have in you? And the humility happened, just to finish it up real quick, when I noticed my ex-wife divorced me, having a son that we just had. And I'm like, how fucked up are you, bro, that your ex-wife is going to divorce you?
During the pregnancy or right
after?
Right
after.
Okay.
And listen, we were living in Brickell, and we had a good shit. We had stuff going, whatever. Like, she was just over it. And I'm like, man, how fucked up are you, man? So that took a while, man. And I've always been struggling with booze. But that really humbled me. And that took me a minute to get humbled. Now, I still struggle with booze, but...
So then you started drinking young, to whatever extent. I did as well, but I was very stupid weekend warrior type stuff. But, you know, I wouldn't definitely say I had a problem of any sort. But, you know, who's to say? Because I've driven under the influence way too many times when I was young. But that carried on into your fucking up. You know, you had this drinking going on and so on and so forth. And then what brought about the Army? How did that come about?
I knew. How hypocritical is this? I'm going to college, which I don't know how the fuck I got in. Right,
Sally Mae just wants to get paid.
Yeah, for real. Fucking going for a criminal justice degree.
Damn, did I tell you I did the same thing, by the way? I didn't tell you that's what I was at when happened? Oh, okay.
Wanting to become a cop and doing drugs. How fucking hilarious is that shit?
Right.
That's so fucking backwards. I just did like a self-look. I'm like, man, all right, well, you know what? And I went in prior to 9/11. I'm like, you know what? You got the Army. So I take this bullshit fucking test. I say, you know what? Hey, you can be this counterintelligence agent because you scored high. I'm like, that sounds kind of fun. All right, well, we'll do that. We're not at war. Cool, whatever. Well, 9/11 happened. That was a whole different ball game. But when 9/11 happened, I was in Korea.
So you were already part of the Army at this
I
point?
was already part of the Army. And all I wanted to do was kill motherfuckers. After that, when I saw those planes go in, I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere here. I want to be over there, taking care of business. And this is a military intelligence guy.
And at this point, how long were you in the service for at that time?
I was about a year in, maybe less than that.
So after you finish your boot camp, there's boot camp,
and then training in Arizona for my job, they shipped me off to Korea.
Boom, and now you're there, whatever, counterintelligence stuff. For people who don't know when they're listening, what is counterintelligence?
Pretty much, we were doing background investigation. This is hilarious. So we're doing background investigations on colonels and stuff, making sure that the security clearance is good, making sure they're not selling secrets. But I'm a fucking private doing this shit. So I'm in a suit. I'm talking to this guy who's been in for at least good 10 years, telling him, investigating him, and he's thinking I'm like some big shot, and I'm a fucking private, you know? And I found that to be hilarious because what right do I have to be investigating this guy? Or we would do liaisons with the Korean police or the Korean intelligence agencies. And I'm here thinking, I'm a fucking private, man. Like, I got so fucking lucky. But I didn't want any of this shit. I never wanted this. And it took me a long time in life to figure out what I wanted.
So you try to get yourself out of the delinquency. So you chose the Army route, but you really weren't convinced until you scored on the test, and they said, "Hey, you can do this thing called counterintelligence."
Yeah.
That kind of got your attention. You're like, sounds pretty fucking James Bondish, whatever.
Pretty much.
That's what I hear counterintelligence. I think some James Bond shit. I mean, really. I know what counterintelligence is, but I would have thought that until I found out what counterintelligence was. And there's many levels to counterintelligence. So now they send you to Korea. You're at this point, you're kind of bored before the 9/11 thing happens. You're kind of bored. You're not feeling it. And then boom, 9/11 happens.
Correct.
Where were you when 9/11 happened?
I was in Korea. I was in Seoul. And I'll never forget it. So my boy woke me up. He's like, yo, wake up. We were in bunks. He's like, yo, New York just got hit by a plane. I'm like, all right, whatever, man. Go back to fucking sleep. Like, no, man, get up. Watch this shit. It's on the news. And then you see the other plane go in. And, bro, I mean, America's never gotten hit like that, ever. But even then and there, you're like, man, this shit ain't no accident. Because, I mean, fuck, 2 planes?
Right.
That's pretty. So I saw that, and I'm like, man, I'm ready to go, man.
Right. It flipped the switch.
Then they confirmed that there was Al-Qaeda involved and blah, 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 Osama bin Laden. But, yeah, that was pretty much.
So what was the process to try to ask your officers, your superiors, hey, man, I would rather go do this than this?
It wasn't a whole lot, man, because to be honest with you, I had a couple months left in Korea, and I just wanted to go there. And what happened was, they say, well, you're a Spanish linguist. I'm like, well, that's great. What the fuck am I doing in Korea? Because I don't speak fucking Korean.
Right.
But, like, and my Spanish is god awful, by the way.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. So I'm like, well, we got this place down south. I'm like, no, I want to go to the Middle East. Fucking send me wherever. It's like, no, we can't do that. We got to send you to a Spanish linguist place. I'm like, you sent me to fucking Korea, man. Like, give me a fucking break. It's like, no, we got this place called 7 Special Forces Group. Their area of operation is South America. I'm like, well, that sounds cool, but I don't want to go to South America. I want to go to the fucking Middle East. So, whatever. I picked that. They're like, all right, well, you got to go to airborne school. All right, send me to fucking airborne school. Send my ass to airborne school. It's parachuter school. You jump out of planes, and you just fucking march to fucking place.
Did you enjoy that?
I love that shit.
You skydive still or no?
Fuck no.
But what was the airborne school? A month, 2 months, 3 months?
Brother, I think it was about a month. And I got recycled in that bitch.
You got to do it again.
Yeah. Because I couldn't land right. But it was kind of crazy, man, because you go there and you've never been around these motherfuckers, these Rangers, SEAL guys, you know, fucking SF guys who are going to start off SF. And you see these fucking hard chargers getting ready for shit. And it's different. It's kind of like, it's very similar when I see you guys. You know, I see Gus over here. I see you training. I see you hitting the bag. I'm like, but that's the way they were. Like, there's something that they have where I'm like, I didn't have it, but I wanted it.
Right.
So I did that shit. And then I got sent to North Carolina, 7th Special Forces Group. And believe it or not, my first deployment was Afghanistan.
Oh, that happened. Yeah.
And
You manifested that one, huh?
yeah. Well, you get what you asked for, right?
Right.
And so that happened. And you have a choice. Like, you can hang out in the big base, which is like Kandahar or Bagram. Bagram's in the north, Kandahar's in the south. Or you could be with the teams, the Special Forces teams. I'm like, fuck, I want to be with the Special Forces teams. Like, number one, I don't have the respect of the fucking office because I'm fucking brand new. Just got my fucking E4 specialist, which means absolutely nothing. It's a glorified private. Everybody's by their first names, and I'm here, and I have to call motherfucker sergeant, this and that, or mister, or whatever. And rightfully so, because I haven't earned my place. It's like, well, you want to go over there hard charger? Great. Awesome. You have to go do what I told you before, something called the STAR course. But every time you do the fucking STAR course, that's when you get to go out with a team. Well, the STAR course breaks motherfuckers. It's a land nav course. It's in the middle of the motherfucking woods. You got marsh out there. You got fucking thorny fucking shits. And you got to find a couple chem lights, like miles out at a time. I wasn't great at it. But that was pretty fucking crazy for a support guy doing shit that wannabe SF guys, which pretty much what I was, always break down doing. And I qualified on that bitch fucking 3 times.
So you were slowly getting that respect from everybody.
Well, if I wasn't going to get it, I was going to earn it.
Right.
I was going to get it no matter what. And you also had to do close quarter combat with them. You had to jump with them. So I did all that. And on top of that, I had to follow my craft, you know, on which they turned me into an interrogator. So I was an interrogator for the teams. But yeah.
And then did they, well, I don't know about an offer, but how did they come about choosing you to be an interrogator? That's a pretty,
no, they're like, hey, this is
a pretty crazy position.
This is what we need. So this is what you're going to be sent to. And I got sent to a British interrogation school. I got sent to collections, a bunch of intel shit that just wild as shit. So it's like hilarious now that I'm a fucking nurse. This is the shit I used to do. And it's like, I don't even fucking carry a gun anymore. I don't fucking do any of that shit. And it's like, people like, you used to do all this shit, and you're a fucking nurse. What the fuck happened? Well, that's a long story, too, but we might have time for that, too. But yeah, so that's what happened. And I got deployed to the southern part of Afghanistan.
And this is in what year?
This was in 2002.
Man, I wish I was good with my timing.
Still in the fresh of it.
Right, that's what I was
Still in the
thinking.
fresh of it.
Right.
That's right, sir.
Yeah.
Still in the fresh of it. So it was the motherfucking Wild West. And so
you were there for how long on this
my
deployment?
first deployment was 8 months. And it was interesting because, you know, while you're there, you also get cross-trained in what they do. Because, you know, in explosives or fucking comm stuff or, like, shooting certain shit or, like, repairing certain shit, which, by the way, I was mediocre at best at all that shit. But I fell in love with it. In fact, I fell in love with that more than my fucking job, which actually didn't help me later on.
With the gun hole part of it, yeah.
You know, because you're an intel guy and you want to fucking do fucking SF grunt shit. Well, that doesn't really go together.
Right.
But whatever. All we did was, you know, we did raids. We looked for mid-level targets and sometimes high-value targets. So we'd always transfer over to the fucking CIA or FBI.
Right.
Bullshit. But yeah.
And how was that experience? How many times did you really have to apply this?
Interrogation?
Yeah.
A lot.
Really?
A lot.
Were they normal tactics of an interrogation that would go down here in the U.S. or it's handled a little different?
Shit.
Without incriminating, it would be handled a little bit different. At the time, how do I say this? They weren't called POWs. So there's POW laws, right? The Geneva Convention has all that. But they weren't called POWs. You know a little bit, but we're not going to go into that.
Right.
But it was different because, number one, brother, you're hot and heavy, man. You know, your whole thing is to make sure the guys you're with gets home. Like, I really didn't give a fuck anymore. It sounds horrible to say, like, you get to the point where, like, yeah, I love my country, but I love my boys more, and that's all that matters, you know?
You know, because you're just so emotionally involved. People,
Yeah.
it's very hard for people to understand the camaraderie or the bond that you grow when you blood, sweat, and tears with somebody. And that can go on levels of sports, football, you know. I might not be that fond of you know, Mo, Larry, and Curly, but we fucking hit each other 5 times a week. We put each other on the ground. I get the best of him, he gets the best of me. We sweat, we get hurt, we this, and then we go to war on Friday under the lights for football, and we want to win. And that's a small example. And then you guys are just, I see you guys are taking that to the highest level possible in what you're doing. And I imagine it's not that you're forgetting about anybody from family at home to your country to what you're doing this for, but in those moments, it's those motherfuckers who are right there beside you, going through the same shit you're going through, you know? Exactly. And I would imagine your emotions are so heightened because as you were talking, I just realized this is 2002. This is after 9/11.
Right.
So you're over there, I would imagine, with a heavy heart, kind of pissed off, maybe a little bias, you know, to things and whatnot.
Very biased, brother.
And it is what it is.
Yeah. And it sucks because you actually, and like I was telling you, you find a point in your life where you're like, I never thought I could feel this way about a certain person or a certain ethnicity. And you're like, and I got to do stuff to make sure that we get home.
What's going on, beautiful people? Just want to take a moment to thank everyone out there for tuning in. We continue getting so much love and support and appreciate every bit of it. But on that note, if you're a new listener or simply someone who's interested in following our journey, please take a second to subscribe to our channel or download whatever necessary app in order to never miss a show. Also, why not give us a follow on Instagram at BlackSheep305 and at Gus Villamil. Again, we truly appreciate all the love and support and look forward to continuously giving everyone listening a different perspective. Now let's get back to the podcast.
And just pretty much, you know, you feel certain ways about a person that you never thought you'd feel. And it's fucking hilarious because I grew up with a friend of mine. His name is, I'm going to fucking butcher his last name. If he ever listens to this, I actually had to apologize to him. He's a friend of mine who's Iranian. He's such a fucking nice guy. Like a fucking sweetheart. And like literally, I mean, he's a fucking princess. And, but he's got a great heart. And I hated fucking Muslims for such a long time. And it's so fucking horrible. But I had to I felt like at that time I had to have this mentality. But brother, that sentiment, number one, it got in the way of an interrogation sometimes. It gets in the way of the mission, obviously. And you might be missing shit. Like this cocksucker Bin Laden was literally skirting across this one fucking highway in Afghanistan. And we were reports and we were always one step behind. One step, like 1,000 fucking steps. But like.
Why do you think that was?
Why? Because that motherfucker had everything on point, man. Like you want to talk about a fucking gangster? all these cool little fucking things you see on A&E, whatever the fuck it is. This motherfucker had everybody buy it. And not off money, man. Off just some spiritual bullshit. And that's crazy, man. That right there.
That's insane.
That's insane, man.
He had people believing in him.
Oh,
like,
brother.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's crazy. But, so, I mean.
Yeah, that's what cult leaders do, man. Cult leaders, that's the type of, I don't know what you want to call it, man, but that majestic, you know, influence that they have on people. They get you to buy into this belief, and then it makes them like a godlike substance.
It's not even that. Wes knows I'm a very faithful man. I'm a Christian. What I believe in is what I believe in. And when it comes to religions, I feel like Muslims are the biggest extremists.
Well, this is the thing.
And not in a bad way. It's that you do have the Muslims who believe in certain things that are a little off topic when it comes to women and all of that. And
I think there's a failure of evolution in so many religions. And maybe the Muslim religion might have a little bit more. But I will say this, man. My brother, we have it in the United States of America. And let me tell you something. I love this motherfucking country. 100%. I love this motherfucking country so fucking much. But we got some crazy motherfucking Christians and extremists over here.
Oh, 100%.
That do some nasty ass shit.
You know, I was gonna say the same thing.
Let me tell you something, bro. And you're gonna find that anywhere, man. And that sucks. And
you know, look, being too extreme in anything, just starts clouding your judgment for everything else. If you're too goddamn vegan, now you don't want to see the debunking of vegan ways, and now you don't care to hear, you know, about how a plant that when I say plant, I mean like a facility that focuses on growing, you know, vegan plants and vegan products. They're hurting the atmosphere more than the cows are. And nobody wants to hear that if you're vegan, because you're too extreme. And if you're too Christian, you don't want, you know, just being too extreme and not having to be a little bit open-mindedness, it just causes a lot of negative results.
It is the failure to evolve that we have.
That's
and
right.
That goes into politics, that goes into way of life, that goes into thoughts. And I figured, and we talked about this when we were having coffee at the gym, and I'm like, the biggest issue people have, and I think I can say this now because I'm about to be fucking 40, and it's the failure to evolve. Like, you know what? That shit just doesn't make sense anymore. Or maybe you don't need to be thinking this way anymore. And doesn't mean you got to tolerate everything. Right. You don't have to be I always say this, it's hilarious. I find the most intolerant people right now are the ones telling me what I have to tolerate, which is everything. I don't have to tolerate everything. If I want to not like something, it's okay not to like something. Right. Doesn't mean I got to not like a person. That's silly to me now. But if I don't like certain shit, I don't have to tolerate everything. Like, I hate being politically correct. I'm the least politically correct person. Like, I am literally and it's hilarious. We went into this. We don't have to go into it, but we talked about it. I am the most liberal Republican ever. Because it's like an oxymoron. Because I'm like, bruh, you don't have to fucking like certain shit. Like, you got to evolve with the times, man. Yeah. And I think that sucks.
And that's forever, too.
Yeah, and people are so butthurt. You know, sometimes. Like, you tell somebody, hey, you're fucking up here. Oh, he's criticizing my life. No, motherfucker, all he's doing is just telling you.
So I don't stick up for no one, you know, but, and I'm not trying to sit on the fence neither. I hate when people just sit on the fence and they won't, you know, at least favor a side. But, you know, if you're not willing to evolve, and we'll put it this way. How many people like change? Let's take it down to the most minuscule level. Change a house, change, you know, just change. Somebody change jobs. That camera went out for some reason, and then went back in, but it's not recording. Okay, good. No one likes to get taken out of their comfort zone. No one likes it. The very few that do have been through something in life where they embrace challenges. They embrace, you know, the out of norm experiences because it does something for them. And of course, your average human being is going to consider that individual like an adrenaline junkie, or, you know, somebody like that who always has to find something new. And see how it goes hand in hand. But the truth is that
course.
most people just do not like change. And when you ask for change in something that you were taught to believe and be loyal to, and then you were taught these fears that come along with this beliefs, whether religiously or ethically or politically, and then man, this whole time, and now you're asking me to change this. Most people are too fucking lazy, don't want to do it. They're stubborn, they're whatever. But I agree with you 100%. The more you fail to evolve and at least be slightly open-minded towards, hey, what if this was a little bit different? What if maybe we were a little wrong? We were off, maybe what if, hey, the times are changing, so we should go ahead and roll along with it instead of, holding it back.
I think that it's a big deal. And I think it's just, and the humility comes in the fucking mirror. And where am I going with this and change? Well, the failure to evolve. Like, bruh, the mirror is the most powerful place to me. Bro, I literally talk to myself, as crazy as it sounds, maybe about 2 minutes a day. And I look at myself in the mirror. And I look where I came from, what I've done, and where I am now. And it is an ugly motherfucking place sometimes. But me having to think that way has opened myself up. If I can be honest with myself, and I can talk about what happened at 8 years old, and I can talk about most of the stuff that happened in Afghanistan, I can be honest with myself, and I can be honest with you. And that's what people say they want. But do they?
No, then they can't handle the brutal honesty.
Because don't mean I'm gonna fucking light your ass up and just give you a bunch of criticism. No, man. But people want to hear the fucking truth, and it sucks sometimes. And sometimes the truth is awesome. Hey, you guys see me a certain way. I don't see myself that way. I see myself as a fucking regular fucking person just trying to do right. And I appreciate that, but people just need to just evolve, man.
So obviously I'm going to just title it that for now, or not in an insulting way. You have this little chip on your shoulder about that type of stuff,
Yeah, right,
I do too. I mean, without going to war or anything like that, but I just feel like when you're someone who's believed that strongly, and hey, man, you're holding yourself back and some of the rest of us by not evolving, the fuck out of my way if you're going to be like that. I think that's where we're at. You and I type, Gus is a little bit different on that, but he actually shares that to an extent as well. He just has a different approach to it. But, this is obviously happening. You're feeling this way. It's growing. You have this built up, emotions because of 9/11, and now you're over there doing this, interrogation and doing things that, we don't need super specifics about. But at some point you had to come back.
Yeah.
And this is taking a toll on you the same way it has a chip on the shoulder now. This is taking a toll on you. So walk us through that part of coming back, because I think, for the viewers or the listeners or for just, anybody out there, most people just do not know the levels of PTSD and the effects of once you see certain things and go through certain things, it changes you for life and it's almost unchangeable.
Yeah, but before we do that, so I'm going to go 2 weeks out on this bitch before I come home. Actually, maybe about a month out. So I got 2 friends that got killed, my 2 teammates.
On the first?
On the first rotation. My second rotation, I got 3 of my teammates that got killed.
And how did that happen, if you don't mind?
I'll talk about it. They went on a recon, and they got ambushed with small arms fire and RPGs. And we found out who did it through intel work, through decent interrogation. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. And then we invaded a big-ass fucking compound. And this is how I come back. We get this guy who's related to, at the time we didn't know, but we knew he was a big deal. He was a big money guy. We go into his compound. We gather him up. I can't go into some of the details I told you about that. Mm-hmm. I talked to him. He was responsible of my friends dying. And we capture him. We send him. He got scooped up so damn quick by, I forgot which government agency, because he was a high value target. Well, he was related to fucking Karzai. Karzai at the time was the president of Afghanistan. And so at the time, we're about a week out or 2 weeks out of redeployment, and this cocksucker gets released.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Dirty politics.
I don't know. You call it whatever the hell you want. You know, so I kind of went home with a very sour taste in my mouth. You know, and my
You found that out as you were leaving.
oh, as I was leaving, bro. And you know, that was very sad, man, because, you know, their death didn't go in vain. I don't want to say that, but
Yeah, but to think that you guys caught the right guy and
Well,
nothing was done about it.
yeah, we caught the right guy for sure. And this guy would have, who knows what was said or what was given up by him. You know, I'm sure there's like shit we're not gonna know about. But that really put a sour taste in my mouth. And I was like, man, fuck it. So I came back, ready to go, ready to hit that bottle. And I hit that bottle. And that's when, like, I started fighting on the streets and, like, just getting trashed. And I would just get into dumb fucking fights. Sometimes I get my ass kicked. Sometimes I didn't.
Now, when you came back, what did you enroll for? Are you waiting to be deployed again? Are you reserve or
No,
what is?
I was active duty, and I was waiting for, like, I don't know what the fuck I was waiting. I just didn't want to be in the States.
How'd you feel? You saw shit no one knows about. 9/11 already passed. It's been over a year. You obviously know about this scumbag and others and so on and so forth. And you come back. Now, are you with the ex at this point?
I'm with my ex-wife that was my girlfriend at the time, correct.
Okay.
And I'm like, and I can't, and if she hears this, she's probably going to hear it for the first time. I was far happier going to war. Not that I wasn't happy with her. I was just not happy in the States. My place was in the shit. I was happy in turmoil. I was happy in chaos. And so I hired a deployment for Colombia. I'm like, oh, here we go. I get to practice my Spanish. Not very good, by the way.
So how long were you in the States until that happened?
Maybe about a couple months.
That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround. And we went to Colombia. And, brother, that's like fucking Disney World. I'm not even gonna lie to you. People like, oh, man. Here, you know.
Now, you were asked to go over there, what, I assume to help with the cartel?
We were helping the Colombian Special Forces and Colombian Rangers, Lanceros. Tough little shits, man. Bro, I will say right now.
Please, let's not say little around Gus.
Yeah, an idiot.
Bro, brother, these motherfuckers lived in shit, and they were tough as fucking nails. Pero así, flaquito, brother. And they had heart for days. And this government that they were working under and serving was corrupt as fuck. But the only thing they cared about was to the left and right. And I want to say, bro, like, I'm patriotic, but these motherfuckers, brother. And we would train them. But we would go out, get shit-faced. Fuck.
Yeah, well, come on. Anybody listening wants to hear that part.
Like,
Colombia still got a lot of fucking going on, so I'm sure there was a lot more fucking going on back then.
I don't want to make it sound like it was a fucking great time. I mean, I don't want to make it sound for what it was, but, you know, that shit was fucking corrupt as fuck. Like, we could only be advisors to them, and then we could train them on certain stuff. But these cocksuckers were in the jungle looking for a high-value target. They had eyes on, we had eyes on. And this guy was there for 3 days. Bro, these assholes were marching through the jungle. I mean, Colombian jungle is a mess, brother. And they have eyes on. And they're told to pull back.
Oh. Paid off corruption.
Brother.
Pretty much.
And I'm like, this is silly as fuck, man. So that happened.
And so you were there for how long?
I was there for 4 months. And
so a lot of partying and drinking and all that aside from the the training and helping these guys out and intel.
Yeah. I mean, it was good. We also did a lot of good as well. I don't want to make it sound like it was just fucking. The weekends were awesome.
Okay.
That's all I gotta say about that. But the training was good too, and it was good seeing like another side of a soldier. Like where you think you're one badass motherfucker.
Right.
Man, I am the shit. I'm training with I'm on a special forces team. I want to go SF so bad. This is where I'm at. Then you see this little shit that handles fucking 100-pound ruck through a fucking jungle. And like, it's mind blowing, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good being around those types of people, man. It's very humbling. Very humbling.
So you came back after the 4 months. The deployment's over. Now your girlfriend's over here.
Yeah, she's over here. I get stop lost. And what that is pretty much, I was supposed to be out on a certain date. But I'm like, fuck it, I'm not going to fucking eat shit here in the States. So I'm like, hey, what do you have for me? Well, you can go back to Afghanistan if you want. I'm like, fucking hey, let's go back to Afghanistan.
So you came back and something about it you were just screaming out to go back somewhere else.
Yeah.
And stop loss is that. You're like on a pause. Like
Yeah, pretty much nobody can, like, to the needs of the Army. Like, so being that there were so many people that wanted to get out and what have you, and like you had the Iraq war going on, you had 9/11, like you couldn't get out. Like pretty much if you
they needed too many.
They needed assets. So I'm like, all right, well, send me back to fucking Afghanistan. All right, so I did the fucking land nav shit again. Got with another team, and that was a pretty fucked up deployment, to be honest with you. And it wasn't 8 months. I think it was about 6 months, what have you. And it's crazy. It's a little bit crazy, that one.
So you gave me a lot of details about that one. Is that something that now you really don't care to talk about?
No, I can talk about it. I mean, and this is where, like, I'm like, fuck, man. Maybe you're not as, that's where the ego, I had a massive ego at that time. Like, really, like, nothing can touch me. Like, I mean, I'm fucking rolling with these SF guys. Fucking, these guys are Rangers. I'm a fucking support guy, and I'm fucking hanging with them, And that's when I started Jiu Jitsu, too. And that's what was really big. And that's what they used to love, man. They used to love Jiu Jitsu. Fucking Jiu Jitsu. After a fucking night patrol, we'd go fucking pop some Celebrags, fucking whatever, and just start fucking rolling with each other. And
the fuck's a Celebrag?
Yeah, what the hell is that?
It's like a very, very, very strong ibuprofen.
Oh, man.
All right. And just do that. And I was on a really good fucking SF team, man. Really good SF team. And I'll never forget it. Like, I was with a team sergeant. He's like, man, if you really want to do this SF thing, I'm going to fucking write some letters for you. And you're going to do it. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to fucking do. I'm like, man, that's fucking cool as fuck. I'm like, I felt at home. Like, really. Like, I felt at home with the other teams, but I felt like at home. And like I said, that one day I shared this with you. Like, we were going out on a mission with the Humvees, which we didn't use very much. That's still not an excuse. I was on the automatic grenade launcher, and I was clearing the weapon because you got to clear it every time you leave the gate. And what happened was there was a grenade in there, and I didn't clear it the right way. A live fucking grenade. And that's what it sounds like. And we're like, and it's just clearing the brim, I'm like, oh my God, this thing fucking, and the whole time I'm thinking, I'm like, if this hits the motherfucking wall, like, I already know I'm in deep shit, but if this hits the wall, man, shit's gonna go down. So no, it goes over the motherfucking wall. And mind you, the long range for the, like, the snipers and shit, like, fucking people just travel across on bikes and shit. I'm like, no. Don't worry, nobody was out there.
Right.
Whatever. So, and everybody's like, man, you fucked up, homie. I fucked up, homie. So they're like, man, look, to be honest with you, you're a fucking cool-ass dude, but you got to leave. And that broke my heart. It really did break my heart because it was a fuck-up. It was my fuck-up, and it was hard to own.
But that's grounds for quote-unquote termination.
Not termination, just get off the team.
Right, okay.
And I went back to, at the time, I think Bagram, which is up in the north, and I talked to my team. Sorry, I don't know how the fuck I convinced them, but like, hey, put me on another team. Put me on another team. And this was cool as fuck. We were setting up a station in between, and I'll get into it. It was on the side of Pakistan. Lawara is on the border of Pakistan. You have Oregon in the middle, where they refit and get supplies. And then we're building a new base camp. And this base camp was something that belonged to a drug lord. And there wasn't, I don't make it seem like we cleared it, we went down. No, we just got the fucking place and that was it. That was hilarious because we didn't shower for like 3 fucking months because there was no electricity.
Damn.
There was a fucking stove.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, man. And that was fucking interesting as fuck. So
But you didn't even bird bath? I mean,
no, bro. Baby wipes. And it's funny, bro. Because
God, I can't even imagine that
brother,
shit.
we had weights, we had protein powder, no baths, and we were all pissing in like protein fucking jugs, well, empty ones, obviously, because it was too fucking cold outside to pee. It was snow, because we're in the mountains, and that was hilarious. So, that happened. We were there, and we got into a big firefight over there, and nobody got killed, but it was like my bunkmate was Leroy Alexander, and I love him. I named my son Alexander for him.
Leroy Alexander?
Alexander, and he was my bunkmate. This motherfucker was some amazing motherfucker, amazing guy. He taught me everything. He was a 18 Charlie, a demo guy, just bombs and shit, fucking constructing bombs and shit. And it's crazy because I never really knew too much about black people at the time. He's black.
Really?
And so it's funny. So I always go, hey, sorry about that. My wallpaper, I always keep it here. That's my brother, my black brother. And I was always iffy about it. But even being my bunkmate, you don't shower together for like 3 months, He just taught me a bunch of fucking cool shit. And he helped me open my eyes. Maybe I shouldn't be fucking judging everybody, Got me into Kanye West. I don't care what you say about Kanye West. I love fucking Kanye West.
Yeah, so do I. I saw him Sunday.
I love fucking Kanye West. I love me some Kanye. So that was good. We would do patrols. We got into a big firefight.
So you grow a very strong brotherhood with this dude, with Leroy.
Yeah, very big. And I didn't get along with one of the intel sergeants there. And this happened later on. I was the lowest guy in the totem pole, obviously, so I was checking out the trucks. And I was supposed to move them because the sand would get in there and it would fuck it up, so I got to turn it on, move them a little. Well, I told them that I moved them. Well, guess what? When you move a truck in sand, you can tell when you move a truck in sand.
Right. Tracks.
I didn't move him. He went up to go check on me. Told him I moved it. He said, "You're a fucking liar." I'm like, "Fuck you," this and that. Because I felt like he was taking my job. He didn't know shit about intel. I knew about intel. He was in my fucking space, and I didn't like him. Well, I stood on that lie I said, and pretty much what happened was like, hey, we're going to redeploy. There's a lot of beef on the team. You seem like a great guy, Nick, but we're not kicking you off, but we're going to redeploy. You got to leave, man. It's just better that way for team camaraderie. I'm like, man, this is fucking pretty shitty. This is a big deal.
Right.
Well, whenever, and I'm going to sidetrack a little, on that time, like whenever we go refit in Oregon knee, I would be on the turret and I'd be on the truck.
Turret, for people listening who don't know, the turret is the...
Pretty much what that is like, so you're on the...
Is it a 50 caliber or no?
Well, this time it was a grenade launcher. Now I know how to fucking manage one.
Oh, okay.
So that wasn't a problem now. But I would always hang out there. I would always be on the turret. And Leroy would never go on these trips. Well, that time, I think when they were refitting like about a week out or 2 weeks out, they run over an IED.
At this point, you had already left the group now.
Yeah. And I lost my captain, my comm sergeant, and Leroy. Now, Leroy had 2 daughters before he went to go see them get born. came back to the team. That goes to show you what kind of man this was. It's like, bro, the brotherhood in that shit is real.
Right.
Like, he could have stayed. He had the right to stay. And he came back. Well, had I been on that truck like I always am, I would have gotten killed.
Everybody in the truck got killed, or did somebody survive it?
Nobody got. No, everybody died. And I will always feel responsible for that. And that's always something. And that was fucking hell for me. And I got back after that, did what I normally do, drink, whore around, and then whatever. And then like, oh, you can get out if you want, you can leave. You can get like fuck that. I just want to leave now. Why do you want to leave, Nick? I want to be with my girlfriend. I want to go back home. Listen, I didn't want any of that shit. I didn't want to go back home. I didn't want to be with my girlfriend. And I didn't want to marry her either. Thankfully I did, because I wouldn't have had my son without her. So I was a fucking mess when I got home. And I pissed away about 20 grand on booze and bitches. Real quick.
What's up, crazy world? You got to be a little loose upstairs if you're following us. But if you're not following us, what the hell are you waiting for? Listen, go ahead, stop what you're doing, pause. You can come right back to this. I want you to subscribe, go to YouTube. I want you to go to iTunes. I want you to go to SoundCloud. I want you to just find any platform that we're on. Follow, listen, show your love and support. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Let's get back to the podcast. So 20,000?
About 20, yeah, man. And that's embarrassing as fuck. And this is where I go back to, man, the mirror. The mirror's a crazy place, right? So we get married. I tell her I'm going to go places in life. She believes it. I don't know why. So, yeah, whatever. I couldn't become a cop. And that's like the worst thing I should have. I'm glad I never became a police officer. Not because I have plenty of friends that are police officers. I would have ended up on CNN beating up somebody. So, and I'm just not built that way. And I've wanted to go into some 3-letter agency group. I'm like, no. My sister works for one. Can't tell her I can't talk too much about her. She's a good chick and she's smart as hell. But I went into paramedic school. Became a paramedic. Riding around in an ambulance. Like, all right, whatever. We're doing that shit. All right, cool. Yeah, shit. So it's a glorified taxi, man, for like old people and sick people. I'm not gonna make it out to be something that's bigger than what it is. But we moved out. We went to Brickell. Boy, was that a mistake, man, because I was just still drinking. The women in Brickell are just yato size.
How bad is this drinking? Is this daily?
It's daily, man. It's daily, bro. Like, it's daily. And
bars every day. Bars are better every day.
Yeah, man. And we're talking about like a lot of booze. And she's already like on the way out to like leave me and whatever. And I get her pregnant. And we have our son. I said I'll change this and that. I didn't fucking change. And then she divorces my ass. And rightfully so. Rightfully so. She hung around for way too long.
Did you ever think about getting help? Or if you did, I'm assuming you might have thought about it, but did you blow it off because you felt a certain way that timing wasn't there? You were still too distraught from everything.
It's funny that you bring that up. Now I'm getting help.
Yeah, but now, and I wanted to get to that because I know that you recently joined the VA.
Almost about a year. Well, it's getting close to about a year ago. No, because I felt like at the time, and it's silly. I have 6 friends. My other friend, he's a great friend of mine, Jeff Classic. He died in a DUI, but he was an amazing soldier. I got 6 friends that can't claim help. So who am I to claim help? Like Chapelton, you better get it together. You better get it together, Airborne. You better fix it. Because you're a fucking man. And that's how closed-minded I was. And I paid the price for it.
You never came across any other ex-soldiers or soldiers who kind of recommended differently? Like, hey, bud.
Everybody's telling me to go to the VA. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. Everybody's got war stories. And I know I'm telling a little bit of war stories. I never wanted to hear your fucking war stories.
Right.
I never want to hear, like, what you went through. Because some of these people who go there, like, and I hear them now, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here, man? Like, you had a grenade that went off like 100 yards down the street, and now you're getting, like, fucking bad dreams? Get the fuck out of my face. Or I hear this guy who went through fucking Vietnam who just recently asking for help, and I hear his war, so I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, this guy's fucking cutting Viet Cong's throats. And here I am, like, fucking, I shot a couple people. I'm like, all right, this guy's a real fucking deal.
Right.
And I'm like, so it was kind of like I felt guilty, And I was very close-minded and thinking I could always pull myself out of it. Because I always felt like, hey, man, you've always been an underdog. Let's get it done, underdog. And it just kept on moving and moving and moving. And the only reason why I ask for help now is nothing bad happened. I got married again to my beautiful wife, Rachel. We have 3 kids. And I don't want to lose what I have. I'm in the best place I've ever been in my life. Every once in a while you get stupid thoughts, you get bad dreams, whatever. But I respect her so much, and I love my family so much that I'm willing to say, you know what, let's keep this rolling in the right direction. And it's really helped me out a lot. I kind of treat the VA like what I'm doing right now. It's like a cleanse. It really is a cleanse. It's maybe somebody hears this and they go like, fuck, man, I get it. Maybe that works out. Or maybe people like, maybe I shouldn't judge people like I do. Or maybe I should be like, you know what, fuck, maybe I don't have it that bad. Or maybe I do have it that bad, but look what this cocksucker went through, and look how he's fucking building himself right now.
What about from the alcoholic standpoint? Because, what you describe is a form, however, whatever level somebody wants to put it on, it's a form of alcoholism when you're drinking that much, And so you've obviously done a lot of great things, and you met Rachel, and then everything's going pretty fucking good for you right now. But did you address that part? Because we had Tony Munoz here on our last podcast. Shout out to Tony. It was a great podcast, and
it was.
He spoke very deeply about alcoholism, and he's gone to AA 3 times. He's relapsed twice. Right, we tried to figure that out. Relapsed twice, and now he's 3 years clean and doing great. But they say you're forever recovering. You're never completely done, because at any given point you could always go back. So I know you had talked about it off camera, and you kind of mentioned it a couple times today that now you don't, but then you also said that you still do struggle with it. Well, I know you haven't had a drink in a little bit of time, but how long has it been, and how did you address that part?
So the last time I had a drink was probably around like mid-October, and we went to, nothing bad happened. We went to a party, a doctor party, had a great time. And then we went to a Halloween party. And I showed my ass. And she's like, man, what the fuck are you doing, man? And she didn't give me an ultimatum. I was like, you know what, man? I see how this is going. I see how it could go. And it's definitely not like before. But I see the road it could go down.
Of course.
So I'm like, you know what, man? Whatever. What's going to keep me sane? Fucking jiu-jitsu. And as long as I get to do jiu-jitsu, that's my fucking drug. And but yeah, it's been rough, man. Like, the longest I've ever been sober was 6 months. Then I went back. I was with some chick who loved drinking, and that wasn't an excuse. I should have been a lot stronger than that. And I started drinking again. And then I met Rachel, and I was drinking a little bit with her, and then I went off and on, and then she just said, hey, man, you need to just get your shit together because, quite frankly, I don't want to see you like this. And you know what? I couldn't agree with her more. And, you know, so.
When I had a run-in with the law a couple years back, and for whatever reason, they made me go to NA meetings.
Yeah.
It was part of my obligation while on probation. And I hated it for so many reasons because I felt like, man, there's so many people here who are just letting it all out. And I felt like I had no right to be there. I got caught with a bunch of marijuana in my car.
Yeah.
So I was doing illegal activity, but it was no usage. I mean, yeah, of course I smoked weed, but it was never any of that nature. Anyhow, it was just a punishment that they threw on me. So, I'm sitting at the back of this church. It's a church thing. And me being an agnostic person, a very non-religious person, it's the last place I want to be. Okay? I feel like fucking, what do you call those, the pews? No, the benches, whatever. Those shits were turning on fire as I sat on them, And these people are spilling their guts, and they're all saying different things. And I'm like, damn, bro, I didn't earn this right to be here and, hear these people's shit, This is not cool. And then you also had where I was just being me, and I'm like, man, this motherfucker don't got a problem. His problem is this. It's not that, So I felt very awkward being there to the extent where I just started faking. I started faking signatures, and I only went to about 5 of them, and then that was it. But never been to that, and I got a gist of it. And you did have some great stories. You did have some people who were hitting 10 years, 15-year marks, whatever. You had somebody who was on a 5th relapse. There's a lot to it. But I did see how it helped people out. I did see how those who needed it, those who yearned it, those who looked for it, it helped them out. Because every time somebody told a story, you had 2 or 3 or 4 people who were getting up and they were like, dude, you have no idea how much I appreciate that story because I went through something similar.
Yeah.
And, hence why, I truly hope, one of the purposes of, the Black Sheep perspective of this platform is to reach people out there who otherwise might not hear this type of story. Somebody might see you and be like, I'm not going to say a word to that big juggernaut. I'm just not. He looks like all kind of scary and doesn't want to be bothered and whatever. And boom, they never get to hear your story. They never get to get inspired. They never get to get, whatever it is. So I saw the impact that these people's stories had, and I thought it was pretty dope how they would impact people because somebody was just waiting to be able to relate to their story, and it gave them the confidence to speak out about their own, or at least, it sparked something up in them to believe in themselves more, to not revert back to the alcohol or the drugs, whatever it is. You're not doing any of that, though. You're not really talking about it until now, from my understanding. You're not going to AA meetings, or have you?
I have, and maybe I went to the wrong ones. So I had
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of different groups.
So I went to one. It was hilarious because one time I was laughing my ass off. I went to this one in Key Biscayne, and you got these lawyers, these doctors sometimes, whatever. These rich folks. My friend liked to go out there. I'm like, all right,
can't help but blow $20,000 a weekend on these whores and alcohol.
I was like,
guys.
And I'm hearing what the hell they lost. One's an artist, this and that. And I'm like, and I'm here like hearing all their like first world problems and shit. And I'm like, but I'm very close minded and it sucks. So I tell my story. I'm like, hey man, well 2 nights ago I went to fucking Scarlett's. I sat in the VIP. I blew about $1,500 on myself because I just went by myself. Ordered a bottle of Jack, drank the whole fucking bottle, and slept in my fucking car. And they looked at me like, what the fuck? I'm like,
pretty extreme,
I'm like,
bro.
what? You can't paint drunk, man? That paint fucking drunk. I'm like, but it sucks because I was so fucking close-minded. And
so you didn't go in with the right attitude,
I didn't.
and by coincidence, you had the wrong group around you to fucking possibly pull you out.
Exactly. And it just, I'm not built for that. Like, and sometimes and it sucks because I'm actually talking right now, but like sometimes people just want to talk.
I get it.
And just, they think they're doing good, but I don't know. Like, I also think like when you go to stuff like that, it's the woe is me attitude. Like, this is what I've gone through. This is this. This is that. Brother, I can't say this enough, and I said it already. I am so fucking thankful. I am so grateful that I had these tools of fucking, damn, homie, you lost all this. You went through all this. Motherfucker, my fucking emotions are the strongest things I have. Brother, when I'm so fucking thankful. Now I am. Before I used to be like, woe is me. I served. I'm owed this. I lost this. I got this done to me. Fuck you. Because you know what? I have this saying that I came up with. Everything has a shelf life. Everything has a shelf life. Because after a while, you still got to look at yourself in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And you can't blame anybody for what you don't have. You can only blame yourself. If you don't got it, it's because you didn't want it or you were too weak to get it. And but now I'm thankful, man. Now I'm in the right crowd. I do a lot of one-on-ones. I don't do a lot of groups, you know.
But are you doing these through the VA?
To the VA, yeah.
Okay,
man.
that's the source now.
That's the source now. It's good. It's healthy. I hate it because that has to be like one of the most depressing places for me. Like I see like these guys walk in with like no legs or a leg missing or this and that. I'm like, here I am. I got bad dreams.
I went several times with a close friend of mine, and it
is big time, brother.
Yeah.
But you know, it's crazy that those people who have no legs or one arm, you're like, they welcome me. They're not like, hey man, what the fuck you doing here? You know, they're like, hey man, it's cool. I get it. I'm like, man, that's a big deal to me. And I'm like, and that's when like pretty much the humbling stuff happens now. It's like, hey, I'm able to listen to people now. Or maybe I'm not so fucking judgmental on shit.
So all this big portion of this transition, this positive curve that you kind of hit, has been in the last year or so?
I wouldn't say in the last year, maybe in the last 2 years.
Last 2 years,
and
okay.
I want to give a massive shout out to Nick Wolfs.
Nice.
I don't know if he listens to this, but I went to one of my.
So let's talk about really quick who Nick Woltz is. Nick Woltz is he's an ex-co-worker of Gus and I's. He's a jiu-jitsu coach. He's everything. He's jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts. He's also a personal trainer. He was with us at the UFC gym over here in Miami.
Black belt under Cyborg.
Yeah, became a black belt under Cyborg. Great kid. I say kid. He's a big fucking dude.
He's a big boy,
He's
bro.
fucking huge. And he was awesome. And go ahead. He's the first who kind of got you back into it.
He got me into it. So I went to the Black House one day with a friend of mine, Dr. Friend, and we just rolled around and did no game. Like, yeah, I used to play around with the show a little while. Hey, it's cool. It's like, where do you train at? I think his name is Abreu.
William Abreu.
Yeah. And he's
bad motherfucker.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Bad motherfucker.
And by the way, super fucking nice.
Yeah.
Very
Super
humble. Very humble. Very, very humble.
Very soft-spoken.
Very, brother. Like, I haven't seen anything in my life like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, hey, well, I'm going to train in the UFC. Whatever. And I had this friend.
He always brush us off.
Like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, oh, but I have this friend who's a really legit badass. He's Nick Wolfs. I'm like, yeah, I'll talk to him. It's like, yeah, all right, talk to him. Like, get into jiu-jitsu again. And I talked to Nick, and I wouldn't say I was dodging him. Fuck it, I'll say I was dodging him. And because I was saying, I'm going to take a class. And finally, I just, I'm going to take your fucking class. And something clicked. I'm like, oh, man, this is fucking awesome, this and that. And it kind of, I enjoy it. And I know I'm masochistic. Fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Say whatever the hell you want about me. But I enjoy the pain because I go through pain. I know what pain is. Mm-hmm. And this doesn't mask it. It just relieves everything.
A counterbalance.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful in such a way. And he got me turned on in such a way. And he is.
Well, might want to rewind that and word it differently.
Oh, no. I don't mean like the boner effect. I mean, he got the boner effect.
Oh,
I meant like.
There I was in a triangle.
And I popped the tent. No. It doesn't like that, man. But like, And by the way, I got nothing against gay people.
Oh, we
All
know.
right, all right. Just want to get that established. All right, I'm all for you guys. All right,
don't
not in that way though. Anyway, so
So he put you on to
put me on
back onto JIT and
just fucking Nick Smash.
Nick Smash. That's his
I'm like,
fucking.
I get it. Nick
Yeah.
Smash. Smash.
If you guys want to look up Nick out there, anybody listening, I actually believe his handle is Nick Smash BJJ, right? On Instagram. So give the homie a follow, man. He's a great dude. He's over there in New York now, if I'm not mistaken. He's helping run one of Cyborg's schools.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome. So
great guy. And through that, you know, I met Mike. You know, Coach Mike, great guy. He's another inspiration of me. I'll never forget this. You know, Mike, because Mike's a little bit quirky. If he's listening to this, he knows I meant this in the best way, and I've told this story to him.
Mike says he's quirky more than anybody else says it.
And he's not wrong.
He knows it.
He's not wrong. And I'll never forget the day. Like, he goes, and I was dropping off my son to his class, and I forgot the reason why I told him I couldn't make it, but it wasn't valid at all. And maybe he felt that, or maybe he didn't. But like, he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry I missed your class. Like, don't be sorry to me. Be sorry to you." And that was in front of my son.
That sounds just like Mike. Even
like,
the facial expression is so on point.
I'm like, all right. And in the back of my head, I'm like, you just pushed me in the right direction, my friend.
Nice.
And he got me hooked, and more. And then like, I met Marty, which I do one-on-ones with now. Shout out to Marty.
Marty,
love him.
Martin Davila, I forgot the fucking thing on his handle. I was trying to say his handle. I forgot.
The Last Inca.
Last Inca.
Is it? Okay, yeah. Last
And
Inca.
he got me. We have enough in common that we click. He's always there to push me. He yells at me in the best way.
Yeah, he's a Marine.
That's right. I said, hey, man, whatever. You got to treat me like a fucking dumb fuck, and that's fine. And I don't mind it. I love that shit. He's all up in my grill. He's doing the right things. And I've gotten better because of Marty. Working on wrestling like Gus does.
Yeah.
I see Gus fucking like turning motherfuckers on their backs so damn easily. I'm like, man, this is what I'm missing out on. And he got me into wrestling. I have Marcelo. Marcelo's a beautiful man. He probably doesn't want to hear me calling him a beautiful man. But he is amazing. I share so many stories with him. He's got an amazing life.
So you just named for people out there listening. You just named pretty much four jiu-jitsu coaches that you've been working with. Nick's not with us anymore, but we all keep in touch. But 4 jiu-jitsu coaches, and basically in retrospect, you're just kind of alluding to that jiu-jitsu ended up becoming a huge medicinal
absolutely
treatment for you.
It was without jiu-jitsu right now, I would be compensating for so much more, and I don't know, and I wouldn't know how to, and it would probably be with alcohol, and that sucks, and that kind of shows that I'm weak in that area, but I'll just call it what it is. I don't mind being honest with myself. That makes me weak in that area, but jiu-jitsu makes everything better. It really does. And then when I see guys, and I'll keep on referring to Gus, I see him in no-gi, I'm like, this is the people, oh my God, I'm going back to this. This is the people I want to be around. This is the fucking hard charges. This is the motherfucker who's going to stare at you and be like, I'm going to take you, or you're going to take me, but you're going to remember me. And that's the way I see it now. And let me tell you something, brother. At the age of 39, I love it. I want to fight till things break. I really do. And that's why I'm kind of pissed off about the one in December, which I just found out today. It's all good. There's always been January. But I just want to fight.
Right.
I want to fight. I want to fight. I want to fight. And what am I? And I'm probably compensating. No, I'm not probably. I am compensating for everything I've been through. But I'm just showing it. And I'm not making up for lost time. But I'm going to make everybody know what time it is, though.
That's great to hear. I never want people to think that the Black Sheep perspective is about mixed martial arts, because it's not. It's way, way, way more than that. But there's just no denying that one, fighters have interesting stories, because a lot of times they had to be at the bottom of the barrel in order to get to where they're at. You got to be a special weird motherfucker to get in a cage one-on-one with somebody with only a referee to set you apart. People watching, you might get destroyed. So it's a very, very special breed of a person, but definitely not about MMA. What I do love to bring up, though, and you're the biggest example right now as we speak about it, is the remedial effects. You know, the psychological effects, just all the positive effects that mixed martial arts, especially jiu-jitsu. And I say it almost probably every podcast. I'm a striker, and I'm damn good at it. But fucking A, jiu-jitsu is where it's at. I love jiu-jitsu and what it does for you in so many different ways. It's just, it changes your life. It changes your perspective. And it just helps you, you know, we say it all the time, jiu-jitsu is life. And it's not about the actual martial art itself. It's the approach to jiu-jitsu. What, you know, the multiple, I grab you this way and there's about 6 things I can do. So you got to think about 6 times 5, 30 things that you can do to counter my 6 things, you know, and it's chess in full-blown action. It's a forever learning process, and just when you think you got it, some little pipsqueak fucking taps you out, and it's dope. It's awesome, you know, and I wish, not just for military people, but for anybody out there who's going through some issues, could be marital, could be occupational, could be psychological, whatever it is. I'm not saying that mixed martial arts is the answer, but the same way that you can't deny that fitness or working out or training is one of the best ways to relieve stress, well, doing a mixed martial art, especially jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, and I believe so many people in the world would strongly agree, it's just one of the best things to ground you and help you counterbalance whatever you got going on in life, and maybe help you see things a little bit differently. And I know that I saw that transition you, though I never knew your stories, though I never knew the extent, the depths, you know, what you've been through. I remember when you started doing jiu-jitsu again, and all these crazy workouts that you used to do, fucking, they got multiplied by 3. Now every workout you do is because of a jiu-jitsu move.
Absolutely.
You're taking a shot while dragging, you know, 300 pounds behind you. You're doing pull-ups with a gi, you know, something that nobody ever does. Every exercise you do is now jiu-jitsu based. And it just seems like you really have, okay, I'm going to give, minus my job and my family, I'm going to give this shit all I got, because it does such a great thing for you. And that's awesome. It really is.
I absolutely think, like, so, now granted, it's not striking, but if you can get choked out, you get armbarred, you get hit in the face, you get hit whatever, what's so bad? If I can handle that, if I can handle a grown man doing all that to me, what's really that hard?
Not much more out there. You know, very little. War.
Well, I mean, but
being mauled by an animal.
But I mean, yeah, that's my point. Like,
right.
That's the way I view it. I'm like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, and it humbles you so much.
Right.
So much.
And I think you know, on that note, shout outs to all the coaches in general, you know, but being on topic, the jiu-jitsu coaches, you know, the impact that they have on people, and a lot of times don't even know it. Like, you know, just this quick, you know, when we had our conversation, I know you brought up Nick, yes, but the fact that, you know, you're over here and you're giving these guys so much credit, you know, Nick, Mike, Marty, and Marcelo, you know, that's dope. It speaks volumes to them, because I'm sure that even though they might think and slightly know that they have a, you know, a nice impact on you and other people, I'm sure that when they hear this podcast and when I tell them, hey, I need you to tune in, you know, come a couple days from now when we flip this over, and I want you to see the impact you've had on this man, and I wanted to let it resonate, and so that you can realize the impact that you have on other people without you ever knowing it. And I know it'll do something to them. I know it will.
You know, I think it will, just because of the character, but I don't do it for validation. I just do it because it just, you gotta give love to the people who love you, man. And it's legitimate love. You know, it's I'm going to take time to watch you fuck up and not get the move right, and I'm still going to work with you.
Right.
And that's me. But that's crazy. And I don't know, man. It's a beautiful thing.
You ever going to try to get Rachel into it?
I would love that. But she's like, fuck that. She wants to go back into Muay Thai, man.
Oh, that's right. She was doing Muay Thai. I
Yeah,
forgot.
man.
I think she was, I don't know if she was training with Manny or just doing classes.
Yeah,
I always say it, man. You know, women, I mean, who knows if we can get an actual statistic, but women tend to like to hit shit a lot more. It seems like their everyday stress, anger, whatever
Out
the
of
fuck.
training, though, women are a lot more coordinated. When I'm teaching, at least, in boxing, they're a lot more coordinated than if I were to teach jiu-jitsu.
Really? Yeah.
100%.
My problem with the teaching them boxing or just striking in general, I tell women, you guys pick up everything way quicker than guys, but your stance. And the reason being because girls stand in that weird ass like T stance, you know, one foot pointing forward, the other one.
It's not even that. It's not even the way they stand. It's just because of the fact they're a lot looser. They're not tight.
As well, right. Guys, muscular, or guys that just, no matter if you're teaching them light technique, they tend to still put strength behind it. They tend to flex and put muscle.
That's me.
But I think we all agree that even if a woman was a black belt and fuck you up, you got one punch to fuck me up. And then that's it. I wrap you up. I grab you. If you don't knock me out on that one punch, you're done. But you can have no striking skills and be a blue belt, maybe even less, a white belt. And if I'm some rapist or some big person, some big, you know.
Yeah, you're going to sleep.
Yeah, a fucking girl. She can maintain her composure, which that's part of, you know, this is why you grapple. This is why you go against somebody. So you get that, you feel the fire. You feel the fire. And then, sure enough, boom, I can get tapped out, arm broken, so on and so forth. Every bit of that right there. What's going on, beautiful people? Just want to take a moment to thank everyone out there for tuning in. We continue getting so much love and support and appreciate every bit of it. But on that note, if you're a new listener or simply someone who's interested in following our journey, please take a second to subscribe to our channel or download whatever necessary app in order to never miss a show. Also, why not give us a follow on Instagram at BlackSheep305 and at Gus Villamil. Again, we truly appreciate all the love and support and look forward to continuously giving everyone listening a different perspective. Now let's get back to the podcast. Nick, let me ask you though, you know, no matter what, you're helping a lot of people out, anybody listening to this, and I believe in the show. I know in the future it'll be a lot bigger than what it is now, and I know people will listen to this, and you're going to help a lot of people out. What is some advice that you would give somebody out there? Because you seem like someone who doesn't value enough of their advice, more so of, hey, man, just enjoy what you do and fuck what people say, and, you know, and I get that type of attitude too, but, you know, on stage, hypothetically speaking, what you are right now, and, you know, having people listen to you, even if you're not trying to sound like a psychologist, you're not trying to sound like, oh, I did all this. We know, okay, there's more people who did more. There's more, a lot of people who did less. But you've been through enough. You've been through a lot. What's some type of advice you can give somebody out there, whether it's the one going to the army, the one coming back from some war, or just in general to help somebody be, you know, better person in life?
Every day, you're going to find an obstacle. It doesn't matter. Just always go back and look at the hardest moment you got through. I promise you, you got this. Stop validating your past. It's what made you. You don't have to be thankful for it like I am. But always remember that behind every mistake, you still came out of it because you're alive and you're not in that mistake. It's a new day the next day. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. Stop saying, this is what I had. This is what I went through. It may be valid. I look at my thing now. Oh, well, Nick went through this. Nick went through that. It ain't valid. It's not. Once you get past that hump, you can just call them excuses. Once you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? Fuck. I'd rather deal with the guy who says, you know what? I got this and I got to keep on going. Than the guy who says, you know what? I got this done. This happened to me. Nobody wants to hear that shit. Nobody wants to hear about your problems. Maybe now they do, but they want to hear with a success story. They don't want to hear about your problems. Get it together. You got this. Life's going to suck sometimes, but it doesn't suck all the times. But it depends on you. It depends on you and your action, how you wake up. You got to wake up and say, you know what? I got today. I might get fired. Sorry about that. I might get fired. I might lose my wife. I might do this. But life goes on, man. Just remember the hardest times in your life and how you got out of it. You can dwell on it. I dwell on my shit sometimes. Is it healthy? The fuck if I know. But I know that's what made me. I always say, hey, you know, oh, you talking about my parents? I love my mom and dad. My dad was pretty rough, but
They still around?
Yeah, he's still around.
Both of them?
Both of them, yeah. And
they in Miami?
They're in Miami, and it's gonna hurt them to hear this, but like I always say, I'm the bastard of Afghanistan. Afghanistan raised me, and I'm a bastard of everything that happened to me. But I love it. I embrace it. Once you get past that, that's where I go back to my thing. Everything has a shelf life. You go back and say, you know what? Been to this, been to that. And I know I sound repetitive now, but like.
But have you gotten past it? Or are you in that process of getting past it?
Oh, brother, I'm never going to get past it. But trying to get past it and trying to better myself is better than saying, you know what? Well, I'm in this position.
Right, this is what it is. Yeah.
I know, I'm in this position because, you know, I got molested at 8. Or I lost friends. I had to see this. I had to see that. Fuck you, dude. Yes, you did. You did. And nobody owes you anything.
Right.
You owe yourself. And if you have somebody to take care of or people to take care of, you owe them. And the only way you can take care of those people or take care of yourself is crazy. Get ready. It's to take care of yourself.
You know, they say if the plane is going to go down and you got your kid to your left and the mask come down, what do?
Give my kid.
No.
Yeah, I know what they say, but damn right. I know what they got to put me on first. But guess what? Nah, bro.
Well, how can you help them survive if you're not surviving?
Well, in real life, listen, 2 seconds of carbon monoxide, I'll be all right.
All right.
That's true. He's not the first person.
No, yeah, I agree. It's not the best example.
No, I get what you're saying. You gotta take care of yourself before you take care of everybody else, because at the end of the day, man, you can't take care of people if you're a fuck up. You know?
Right.
And you just got to get over yourself. You got to look in the mirror, take it all in, talk to yourself for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, talk to God. He's cool. I know. All right. He's like, you know, and we got a crazy relationship, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, well, thanks for all this mess. I'm like, hey, you're welcome. All right. But, hey, I'm so thankful, man. And I got over that shit. I'm like, hey, man. And that's the only part I really got over. But that's a big part. I no longer need excuses. I can look at myself and be honest. I can be honest with you guys. I don't know Gus. I know you, but I don't know Gus. I don't know who's listening to this. They can think whatever the fuck they want. But once you get over yourself and you stop lying to yourself,
right,
and you start getting together in your head, and you're like, hey, I got this. It's a beautiful feeling. It's a breakthrough. And you really legitimately stop caring what most people think. Mm-hmm. And that's a hard thing to do. And then you start doing you.
And that's you know, that's so well said, that very last piece, because so many people make their decisions in life based upon what they think other people's think.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's a tragedy. And people are putting themselves in debt because they want people to think a certain way about them. People are avoiding this or not doing that because, you know, everything you just said. And I think that's great advice. It's great. Very, very, very difficult for most people to do. Tell you that.
It's difficult for me. It's always going to be difficult. It's always going to be difficult because no matter what you do in life, you still want to be validated of some sort. I don't look for validation, but you do kind of want that. So you want to make it look like you got your shit together, you know? But the way I view it, all right, well, I'm going to make it look like I got my shit together because I'm going to get my shit together.
Right.
I'm not going to put like a big facade out there. Like if you know what, I'm happy. I'm a great husband, which I am, but I mean, you know, everything's hunky-dory at home. You know, we have bad days. Fuck, we just fought 2 nights ago. But like, and I love her. And so I'll never I'm just over that, man. Like, I'm done making excuses. I'm done. I'm just going to do me. And as long as it's not out of malice or out of hate, I'm going to do me. That's it.
And part of the formula is definitely, and you just kind of gave her a shout out without even doing it on purpose. You know, it's when you have a good support staff, we'll just name it for that because it's not always going to be a girlfriend or wife. It could be your best friend, could be, brother, could be your parents, whoever. But when you got good supporting staff, which in this case is an amazing, wife in Rachel.
Absolutely.
That helps immensely because, in order to kind of believe in yourself, it helps when you have somebody who believes in you as well, especially when they know your deepest secrets and your darkness and they've seen some of the shit show that you can put on and still stick around because they know there's way, more positive depths to you. So that's definitely a good part of the formula. I love that advice. I don't know how I would have worded it differently, only because of the way I talk, but it's the same approach, that I tell people. But what about these veterans that are coming home? Are you going to tell them because you didn't do the VA right away, because you didn't believe in it as much? I know you don't feel like maybe you might give them the best advice, but give them something because those are the guys who they really need it.
I totally understand what you guys are going through. Maybe we all got different stories. Some of us lost people. Some of us have done stuff for our country that some people find regrettable. Me personally, I don't. I mean, I'm very satisfied in what I did. But time goes on, man. And there are people who can help you. There are people who can love you for what you are. But you have to be willing. And you're never going to forget. I promise you that. And that sucks. I'm going to be very honest. You're never going to forget. And I don't want to make it sound like you got to deal with it. Because that's pretty much what it's going to sound like. But you got this, man. Think of a hardest shit day you had. And then think about, I'm out of this. And now I'm going through emotional shit. My hardest day will kick the shit out of my emotional shit.
Right.
All right? Fucking A. Fucking 20-minute firefight, bro.
That's
20
insane.
minutes is a long time, bro. I don't want to make it sound like it's fucking Brad fucking Glorious Bastard type shit, but it was fucking 20 minutes is a long fucking time.
I hear one bullet go by me. That was enough.
Listen,
I just
bro.
shat.
All right.
Fuck
So
that.
I'm going to be very honest. Just think of that, man.
Right.
And you're going to have bad days. You may have some relapses if you have drug and alcohol issues, man, and that sucks. I really do. And I totally comprehend that shit, man. But think of your hardest day, man. Think of what you're capable of. Think about that fucking savage fucking person you had inside of you. And say, you know what? I'm doing this. I got this. And if anything gets in my way, I'm going to make sure it remembers me. And that's the mentality I had. And that's the mentality that most vets have. At least if it was in my line of work. And most of the people who have this thought were probably infantry people. Maybe some intel guy who somehow thought he was a fucking grunt like myself and got exactly what he wanted in the worst way or whatever. But you think of the worst day. Think about the day that you wanted, I want this school. I want this badge, or I want whatever the fuck it is. And you got it. And then think about what you're going through. Everybody's going to go through a heartache. Everybody's going to, but it sucks when you're a veteran because everything gets magnified.
Right.
This is what I got out for.
Right.
Oh my God.
So
think
true.
about what you, no man, think about what you are now, man. And think about what you're capable of. You can smash this shit, man. It's not easy, but who the fuck cares? Because at the end of the day, you got two motherfucking choices. You can or you won't.
Right.
You either do it and you say, woe is me, and it sucks, and this is what it is, and it breaks my heart, and why don't people love me? Why don't I get validated? Why don't I get this and that? Or you can say, fuck that. I'm going to take what's mine. Take what's yours, man. You earned it. You're out. You survived it. Take your army money. Go to motherfucking school. Go open a business. I don't know what the fuck you want to do, but do it because you got this. Because your hardest day in the military will never, ever match to some emotional mess.
And look for outlets. Look for outlets to help, counter whatever it is you're going through because, it doesn't have to be mixed martial arts, but find a hobby. Find something that'll get you productive and positive and help get your mind off things. Maybe challenge you in a way you were once challenged and that's something that you yearn, or maybe not challenge you at all because you got challenged enough and that's you don't want to be challenged. But, definitely look for outlets because it's never really the end. And And like you said, man, we all go through a lot of tough times, but there's ways out, and seek help. When I say help, I don't mean like professional help. I'm not saying anything against that, but just you gotta. I guess the line that I always say is, the first step to recovery is admittance. You have to admit it. You gotta admit and acknowledge I got this issue, and if that issue is getting past whatever it is that you went through in the service or any kind of traumatic experience, admit it. That's what happened. That's probably why I act this way. It's probably why I'm feeling this way. I need to kind of find a way out of that. And then, look for these outlets and just don't dare toss the towel in or anything like that. And but Nick, I'll tell you what, man, I know that we haven't said it yet, man. We really appreciate, everything that you've done for us, and I say that, I mean, for our country. We're proud ass Americans as well. I also come from a Cuban dad and a Costa Rican mom, but I was born and raised here in America. And even with Trump and all the politics that I don't believe in, I am a proud ass American, that's for sure. I do love our country, as fucked up as we might have issues.
Trump 2020.
Trump, you think? Yeah, it's gonna happen. I
hope so.
Brother,
I have no idea what to think about that shit.
Get ready.
I don't know.
Get ready.
He's gonna get impeached, and he doesn't get impeached.
He ain't gonna get
impeached.
Oh God, let's not end the podcast on fucking Trump, bro. For real.
Hey, I voted for Trump, and I'm proud to say it. Okay.
Let me tell you something, bro. I voted for Trump, and what a mistake that was.
You see?
But you know what?
It was better than the other person.
It was 10 times better than the other person. And it's going to be better than any of these damn Democrats they have. Bro, if they had a decent Democrat, I'd vote for him over Trump. Damn the Republican Party for putting that best thing out there. And damn the Democrat Party for having that crap out there.
Yeah.
So, again, that goes back to failure to evolve. You
Yeah.
want to be stuck in your ways? This is the Republican way. This is the Democrat. No, man, there's something in the middle. I promise you that.
You know who should run for president?
Who?
Joe Rogan.
You're an idiot.
Why not?
Bro.
Why
I love
not?
Joe Rogan, but no, man, what's wrong with you?
The guy's got great views on all that shit. Way more than I would even attempt.
Why would
to
that
try
guy
to.
give up that great lifestyle he has?
Of course he wouldn't. He's ready to fucking go up the mountains and start getting further and further away from people. Like for real. He hints towards that. So yeah, you're right about that. I'm just saying his mind frame, because he's evolved a lot and he's one of those guys that looks at it in both ways. But Nick, man, you really blessed us with your presence, dude. I don't get to hear this type of stuff ever. The only person I ever did was with one of my closest friends, Damian McLean. Shout out to him. It took us like 2 years before I could hear his stories, and that was basically because I was pussyfoot and I just didn't want to ask him nothing about what happened over there. And then once we opened up that box, he told me everything, and it helped him as much as it helped me. But it never, civilians, let us call us that. We don't know what the fuck y'all go through. Not there, not when you come back, not up until this very point. There's so many levels to it, and really, really, really appreciate everything that you brought to light, on the podcast and what you've done for our
100%.
Thank
country.
you.
And
Thank you, guys.
big shout out to the coaches that you name drop. Nick, Marty, Marcelo, and Mike P. As well. And everybody plays a role in not only helping you out but helping other people out. And dude, appreciate the advice you're giving everybody out there. I hope that this, people listening, that this helps anyone out. If anybody out there, man, Nick is not the friendliest guy, but he's also not an asshole. When I say he's not friendly, he doesn't walk around with a smile on his face like, "Hey, come talk to me." No, because he's intense. He's there to work out. He's there to train. He's focused. He's he's military. What do you expect? But he's a fucking sweetheart. When he's not being emotionally disruptive about some certain topic. If somebody out there, you want to give him a follow on Instagram, I believe it's 13 Juggernaut.
Correct. 13 Juggernaut.
13 Juggernaut. I don't know if you spelled the name the right way. Did you?
Probably not.
That's a fucking weird. That's a weird name to spell right there. But 13 Juggernaut on Instagram, guys. So if anybody wants to reach out to him, man, thank him, ask him for any advice, anything of that nature, please, go ahead and give him a follow. He's a great fucking guy, and now we get to know a whole lot more about him. And again, everybody out there listening, Gus Villamil, Gus at Gus Villamil, no underscore, no anything, and myself at Black Sheep 305. Appreciate you, Nick, man. Much love for you. Thank you for all your service, man. Thank you for blessing us with this, man. And I surely can't wait to have you on again, and hope we make an impact on everybody out there listening.
I hope so too. I want to give a shout out to my wife.
Yes, man.
This is a big deal, and I mean, I don't know where I'd be without her, but fucking A, man.
That's
Thank
awesome,
you
man.
for the 3 kids that we have, and Fucking A, let's keep on fucking moving.
Rachel, you rock. You're a great woman. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you keep following us on every platform that we got out there. Thank you. Have a lovely day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Deuces.